acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we stand, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, pay my respects to elders past and present. To Premier of New South Wales, Mike Baird, Louise Heron, CEO of Sydney Opera House, Mayor of Willoughby, Gail Giles Gibney, Ignatius Jones, our Vivid Sydney Creative Director, Anthony Bastick, Curator of Vivid Light, Jess Scully, Curator of Vivid Ideas, Stephen Ferris, Curator of Vivid Music, and Ben Marshall, Curator of Vivid Live, right here at the Opera House, to our Vivid Sydney partners and sponsors, to the Destination New South Wales team who are working tirelessly on this event, members of the creative services industries, and of course, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Welcome to the Vivid Sydney program launch for 2015. As many of you would be aware, Vivid Sydney is owned and managed by Destination New South Wales, and we are the state government's tourism and major events agency. Over 18 days from the 18th of May to the 8th of June, 22 May to 8th of June, this city will be transformed with an array and a display of light, music and ideas. Last year, we saw 1.43 million visitors through and enjoying Vivid Sydney. And of course, Vivid Sydney is now a regular highlight on the major events calendar of the world. It also generates enormous publicity. Last year, Vivid Sydney was seen and covered in 190 countries and territories. In the last 3.5 years that Destination New South Wales has been created, we've endeavoured to take Vivid to a new level and to explore some new realms. For example, we introduced travel packaging with travel trade partners in both domestic and international markets. And that, of course, is all designed around our goal of doubling overnight visitor expenditure by the year 2020. Last year, Vivid Sydney attracted 90,000 people from outside of Sydney, and of that 90,000, 20,000 international visitors came here on Vivid Sydney travel packaging. In fact, 9,700 of those international visitors were from China alone. This year, working with our partners in both domestic and international markets, we have a number of promotions, advertising campaigns and travel package offers for Vivid. And I'd like to just show you an example of some of them. China, I've got a couple there, Japan, Singapore, Taiwan, and Korea. And those are just the Asian countries. Of course, we do a lot of work, UK, Europe, USA, New Zealand, and so forth. This Sunday, for the very first time ever, in an A3 compact format, we will be reaching even more potential visitors to Vivid Sydney. It's through a newspaper insert. We will be in the following markets: in Victoria, in Queensland, in the Australian Capital Territory, South Australia and New Zealand, and we will be reaching in excess of 2.7 million people. And you can see here, we'll just give it a reveal of the cover. There you go, that's what it looks like. Now, there are copies for each of you to take with you today, so you will be the first people in Australia to have a copy of all the program information. As you can appreciate, events of this nature cannot happen without tremendous support and cooperation and assistance. And I would like to welcome and thank all the Vivid Sydney partners and sponsors here today. Firstly, the New South Wales Government. The amazing assistance we receive from all government departments and services that we are given. New South Wales Police, Ambulance, Roads and Maritime, Ports, Transport for New South Wales, just to name a few. And of course, we have our event partners. Our very special shout out to our Vivid event partner, Intel, because you really personify the creativity and innovation that is at the heart of Vivid Sydney. Our event supporters also need acknowledgement. Sydney Harbour Foreshore Authority, City of Sydney, The Star, Sydney Opera House, thank you Louise, Canon, great to have you back again. We've got an amazing display down at the Museum of Contemporary Art Australia. Our newest event supporter, Indeed, Oracle, 3200 Lighting and TDC. Special thanks must also go to our Vivid collaborators, and they include Philips, BBC Earth, Carriageworks, Coates, Wilson Parking, Darling Harbour Alliance, AGB Events, Game On, Good Design, MCA Australia, Museum of Sydney, Australian Technology Park, Propaganda Mill, Mumbrella 360, Semi-Permanent, Spark, Spinifex, the Seymour Centre, Remix, Sydney Film Festival, and our Vivid Sydney Precincts Old And some announcements coming from the Premier shortly. Broadening and sharing Vivid Sydney's social media appeal and website traffic is central to getting more people to understand how fantastic Vivid is, the spread of the event, and also the reasons why they should come and why they should participate. In 2014, the Vivid Sydney Facebook page reached an average of 2.8 million people every day, 3.4 actually on opening night. This year, we've redesigned our Vivid Sydney website to make it easy to find all the great information. We might just have a look at some of the screenshots. So you can see there, we've split it into music, light and ideas, so you can get full rundowns of each of the programs. You can also search by precinct. So in this case here, the Rock, so you can find out if you're in an area, you can go straight online and have a look at what's on, what's to see and do. You can upload photos, you can check out event details, and you can download the My Vivid app. Now, these are all designed about making the visitor experience here in Sydney even better. For those of you who are watching the live streaming at home, please go on to vividsydney.com. You'll be able to download, you'll be able to have a look through this website, test its functionality, and also download the app for yourself. This year, Destination New South Wales will be also looking at additional improvements that to enhance our work on accessibility and sustainability. Building on last year's accessibility initiatives, and I must have a special acknowledgement of Sydney Opera House. Louise, you and your team, an amazing job with the viewing platform for those in wheelchairs, and also the volunteers that sat with people who have vision impairment to explain exactly what was going on, what the sales of the Opera House were looking like, what was on the harbour. It was just truly amazing. So we want to be able to take that and build it again this year. We will have more details over the coming weeks about initiatives to help those with mobility and disability challenges. I'm also proud to announce that Destination New South Wales has signed its first ever sustainability partner for Vivid Sydney. So we will be working with the Banksia Foundation. The Banksia Foundation, through its 27 years of recognising leadership and innovation in sustainability, will provide Destination New South Wales with more practical advice and a practical platform to help further develop Vivid's sustainability goals. Now, before I invite the Premier, Mike Baird, to the stage to officially launch the Vivid Sydney program for 2015, I think perhaps let's refresh our memory of what Vivid's all about. So could we run the video from last year? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to officially launch the Vivid Sydney program for 2015, please welcome to the stage the New South Wales Premier, Mike Baird.
Thanks, Sandra. Does anyone feel exhausted after Sandra speaks? Thanks, Sandra, for all you do. Can I just start by acknowledging the traditional owners of this land and pay my respects to elders past and present. Congratulations, Sandra, and the whole Destination New South Wales team. The incredible job that you do, but bringing events and coordinating events such as this is so critical. Louise, thank you for the role of the Opera House and the opportunity and the significant part it is of Vivid, and I know there's a lot of cooperation. And Ignatius, all the best as you bring together the greatest minds and the greatest team to now deliver the world's largest event of this type. And it's fantastic. And there is a special guest down here that I'll get to in a minute. It is incredible. Does anyone else have this wonderful sense? And for some reason, Vivid brings it out. And that is a reminder to all of us how great this city is. Now we live in the best city in the world. And having the opportunity to promote it to anyone that dares to have a look, I think is one of the great things. It's almost like this favourite jewel we have. And by the way, Will, does anyone want to see how great it is? And to show it off with lights and colour and music, as Vivid is, I think is a great hallmark of this city and gives us a great opportunity to do it again, to remind the world. And you've seen those pictures and colours and images that go around the world. Come to this city. It is worth visiting. Indeed, beyond that, it is absolutely amazing. And the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, it's an 18-day event. And the aim, I remember in discussions, was can we get to 1 million visitors that come? And last year we got up to 1.43 million. So where it goes to, no one knows. I hope we don't end up with 1 billion people here. But it is growing and growing, and it's growing because it is such a fantastic experience. And to have the energy of the unbelievable creativeness of the lights and what that does together with the music, it is amazing. The growth of the economy is huge. It was about over $40 million was the benefit to the local economy, and that's great for local businesses, jobs and investment. And we are very proud as part of this particular festival to announce new precincts. So there are 4 new precincts that are coming, and this is part of the great joy. Other parts of the city are wanting to participate. We want our parts to now be part of Vivid, and as it grows, well, it's further opportunities to show off other parts of the city. So for the first time, Chatswood will be included. I think there's a picture of Chatswood. Central Park is now going to be included down in Chippendale. The University of Sydney itself is going to participate, as is Pyrmont. So new precincts that will provide new depth and opportunities to showcase this city. Great opportunities to do that. And lastly, I think the main excitement I have is that in the music part, we have a big part of my youth and childhood is coming back to play. I didn't make the decision, but I absolutely endorse it. So the Hoodoo Gurus are coming back. How excited is everyone on the Hoodoo Gurus coming back? So I met Dave Faulkner this morning, so it's great to have him here. And again, a great part of our history in terms of who we are as a city, and to have the Hoodoo Gurus back as part of this festival, that's an incredibly exciting thing, not just to me, but across the city. So great to have you part of that, Dave, and congratulations to everyone that is involved. This is undoubtedly going to be the biggest and the best, the brightest, and it's going to stretch this city in terms of promotion to the world on how wonderful we are. And there is a little thing. I mean, the Premier of the state gets to launch and push the button. That is on the 22nd of May. So I'm hoping very much I get to push that button. So all the best until then, and all the work that has to go in before we get there. Good luck with it, because I know it's going to be fantastic, but it doesn't come by chance. So as you put it together, get a sense that the city is waiting for it. We're excited by the energy, and we're going to be excited to see all your talents on display to the world. So thanks very much.
Good catch. So thank you so much, Mr. Premier. And it's great to be here in front of you all again for the 7th Vivid Sydney. Vivid's gone from strength to strength, from a small creative industries event reaching about 100,000 people to the largest of its kind in the world. It's quite unbelievable and very humbling. While the program content might change from year to year, the bright, beating, beautiful heart of Vivid Sydney is the same. Creativity, innovation, and art for the people and accessible to everyone. While there are elements of the event that are ticketed, Vivid Sydney is largely free, and people come in droves to be part of it. We must be doing something right. For 18 days and nights, Sydney turns on a show like no other. Our icons, the Sydney Opera House, the Harbour, the MCA and Customs House, light the way. And this year, the light of Vivid will be shining into a whole group of new precincts and suburbs. Because this year, as the Premier announced, Vivid Sydney is not just coming to the city, it's spreading through the city. While the heart of light still beats strongly from Circular Quay to Walsh Bay, Vivid is spreading further into the city after the success of Martin Place, and with more installations, more projections filling the city with a creative glow. In 2015, Vivid will stretch into the new precinct of Central Park, where the deeply green skyscraper, recently voted best tall building in the world, will shimmer with the animated street art of Rico Rennie and Beastman projected onto the heritage Carlton and United Brewery facade. Drawing their inspiration from the site's design aesthetic and working with the young Sydney outfit Ample Projects, who created the fantastic Urban Tree in Martin Place last year. Indigenous artist Rico Rennie combines the iconography from his Gamilaroi heritage, and the Gamilaroi are the second largest mob in New South Wales, with stylistic elements of graffiti, while Beastman brings his own crazy and colourful style to this uniquely urban setting, breathing movement, growth and sound into what he describes as a futuristic world of new life, hope and survival. Beautiful. Extending from Central Park further into Chippendale, the University of Sydney joins Vivid once again this year, but with a much larger program. The popularity of Sydney Uni in 2014 took us all by surprise. They were expecting 8,000 people over the 8 days of Vivid. They got 36,000. This year, the University of Sydney will present a much expanded program of light, music and ideas. The university's Vivid program, Vivid Path to the Future, includes both student and academic works and really showcases the university's talents and creative powers while entertaining thousands, which of course is the essence of Vivid. With 3 one-hour shows every night, the university has also enabled Vivid to spread through its venues, taking in 6 locations, including the main quadrangle with 6 light installations across its main thoroughfare, creating its own light walk. There's also extended programming as part of Vivid Music at the Seymour Centre, but more about that soon. After a tremendous foray into Vivid last year by Carriageworks with modulations, featuring Wild Porteño, which was our first fusion of music and food, this Inner West venue will return again as part of the Vivid Music lineup with a whole new modulations program, right at the bleeding edge of cool. More about that shortly too. And Martin Place is back. And just as amazing as before, with Vivid Sydney enticing visitors to explore the daytime heart of our CBD at night. Transcendence is an architectural, this is fabulous, an architectural new media sculpture come F&B pop-up. Designed by UK artist Joseph Crosley, and it'll house a collection of Sydney's hippest purveyors of food and drink, but at the same time will feature a whole collection of new media art on its walls and ceilings, from projection mapping to computer code-driven light shows with a different artist every night. Large-scale light installations, fitting tribute in line with the centenary of Anzac at the Cenotaph in Martin Place. And also, folks, Later on, you might notice that beautiful light sculpture in the corner there. That's part of Robotanic, and we've got the designers here today, Seb, Thomas, and Jono. Welcome, guys. Very clever gentlemen. For the first time, the Museum of Sydney will be involved in the Vivid Sydney Light Walk. It's perfectly placed halfway between Martin Place and Circular Quay. The museum's famous glass box will feature Lucky Country, which is an interactive room of luminous balls. I can't believe I just said that, but by architect and judge of house rules, Joe Snell. And from the city centre to the inner west, this year Vivid takes a trip north. And as the Premier announced, we are heading to Chatswood. Giant lanterns, projections, storytelling on a grand scale will make Chatswood a really exciting new part of Vivid. With the support of the Willoughby City Council and the artists who are creating this vision, Ample Projects, Chatswood is going to be a very special trip to the burbs. So once again, Vivid Sydney is growing. Drawing on the culture and communities of these happening new precincts, Vivid will gain whole new aspects and different perspectives, and highly complementary ones, to what's going on our harbour shores. Speaking of which, our favourite locations are back for 2015, but as always with a creative twist. The Museum of Contemporary Art Australia will see the French masters Danny Rose move from their adventure playground at Customs House, where they brought us Play Me and Move Your Building in 2013 and 2014, to collaborate with MCA collection artist Rebecca Bauman. And Rebecca's here with us today. Welcome, Rebecca. Together, they're going to bring us mechanised colour assemblage, which will transform the MCA into a series of sound and colour machines that create this continuously morphing audio-visual experience that blends music and colour into a single synesthetic element. The kind of fabulousness we have come to expect from Rebecca and Danny Rose. Customs House will be given an amazing treatment by Sydney's own Spinifex, who worked on lighting the sails of the Opera House in 2013. But I'll leave Anthony Bastick to tell us more about that shortly. The Vivid Aquatique Fountain Show at Darling Harbour has been a big hit for the last 2 years, and this year we've added a new element: fire. Yes, there will be fire, lasers and huge water jets, almost twice as high as we have seen before. In fact, a laser fountain water theatre, courtesy of Oracle Liquid and the French Fontaniers Cristal, and of course the Sydney Harbour Foreshore Authority and the Darling Harbour Alliance. Just around the corner, in the inner city suburb of Pyrmont, there's more new Vivid programming. Vivid Sydney at Pyrmont and the Star. A whole new world of entertainment. For instance, Pyrmont Bay Park is going to be transformed by Fourth Wall into Pyrmont Pyro, where you'll be able to send digital fireworks flying through the air with a flick of your hands. And for those of you who like to sing in public, and unfortunately there are many of us who do, now's your chance to karaoke and see your image massively projected onto the walls of the Star. A feature of the Vivid Rooftop Lounge at Sky Terrace. And it'll be joined there by a host of cutting-edge interactive playthings, installations to make your heart sing, and a great view to match. One of those views, of course, is out to the harbour. And after the huge success of Harbour Lights last year, where we brought Vivid to the harbour itself, the pretty boats are back, but with a boost. They're LED lights controlled by GPS satellite navigation, devised by 3200 Lighting, and of course with Intel inside, will change even more frequently than last year, bathing our wonderful harbour in twinkling technicolor. I wish I could say I hadn't written this, but I'd be lying. You might be lucky enough to catch one of these boats and pass under the Sydney Harbour Bridge as it changes colour all by itself. And this year, we turn our create your own masterpiece aesthetic to the cityscape and the buildings of Circular Quay. Visitors will literally be able to paint the town with a brand new installation cum projection brought to us by 3200 Lighting, which will let visitors choose which colours and shapes to paint the skyscrapers along Cahill Expressway and the Quay. Participation in Vivid at its finest, and something really unique. Whether you're 7 or 87, you'll be able to create your own masterpiece, snap it, maybe even print it, and stick it on the fridge. Immortalised forever. Participation and interactivity have always been a theme with Vivid Sydney, bringing art and innovation to the masses. This year, we're adding even more of that play element, especially at Cadman's Cottage, whose heritage sandstone facade will become the biggest multiplayer game on the Lightwalk, with up to 20 people able to play the building at once. And of course, Vivid isn't just about buildings, but about the individual pieces of light art that turn our footpaths, nooks and crannies into scenes of wonder and awe. Each year, Vivid brings the fanciful, the fantastic, and the futuristic to its audiences. Even the odd two-storey inflatable bunny hutch. This year, there's also plenty to enthrall, including a giant knitted dolly that just wants a hug. To tell us more about Vivid Light, here's curator Anthony Bastick.
In 2014, Vivid Sydney delighted record audiences, illuminating the city and splashing the harbour foreshore and surrounds with colour, crisscrossed with breathtaking projections and art installations. This year, Vivid Sydney goes multiplayer, transforming the city into a nighttime playground for big kids and small kids alike. The popular children's game, Duck Duck Goose, comes to life on a grand scale. Swing Glow is an ode to childhood memories of playful structures. Beak Dice invites the audience to build a song by tapping, rolling and stacking a series of musical dice that illuminate in time to the beat. A curious collection of creatures awaits at Monster World. As audiences wave and dance, friendly monsters come alive in a surprising and playful way. There's no shortage of big and small creations in this year's Lightwalk, and after the huge success of 2014's Intrude, better known as the Bunnies at Dawes Point, artist Amanda Pera returns with the larger-than-life installation Untitled. The oversized theme continues with festival goers invited to take control of an enormous geometric eye, winking at audiences as they pass whilst creating a spectacular colourful effect. Affinity is a spectacular representation of the human brain, where light and sound connect audiences using hundreds of intersecting neurons. Magnificent major projections onto the city's iconic buildings will once again be a highlight of the Vivid Sydney Lightwalk. Seasoned Vivid Sydney creative spin effects return with Enchanted Sydney. Enchanted Sydney projects free-flowing images of Sydney's flora and fauna onto the iconic facade of Customs House. The artwork mixes both familiar and not so familiar aspects of Sydney's natural environment to create a continually evolving and blossoming world. This year, the French video masters Danny Rose will turn their attention to the Museum of Contemporary Art, working in partnership with MCA collection artist Rebecca Bauman. Mechanised colour assemblage will see the MCA sandstone facade transformed into a series of sound and colour machines that create a continuously morphing listening and viewing experience that blends voices and colours together into a single element. Vivid Light continues to attract the world's leading light artists. Spectacular installations set to awe audiences this year include The Dresses features 3 shimmering dresses that appear to float in the darkness. BBC Earth's Life Story will illuminate the Argyle Cut, capturing the epic journey that unites all creatures, the journey through life. And drawing literal inspiration from its location, You Are Here, is set to be Vivid's Selfie Moment, a wonderful opportunity for visitors to snap themselves at the Lightwalk. And then there's Dolly, a 3-metre tall light-up dolly who just wants a hug. Vivid Light takes place every evening of the festival Festival from 6 p.m. to midnight. And it's all free and open to the public thanks to the New South Wales Government and Destination New South Wales.
Thank you, Anthony. Vivid Light has now been recognised as the light festival to beat. Last year we had 5 of the world's light festivals: Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Singapore, Yokohama, and we're really chuffed about this one, the Fête de Lumière from Lyon, the oldest and largest light festival in the world. We're all here checking us out and looking for new material. Last year, 4 of our 7 projection artists received Australian and international awards for their work on Vivid. Spinifex for the MCA, Digital Pulse for Darling Harbour, Ample for Urban Tree, and Danny Rose for Customs House. While many of our installations also received nominations and awards in Australia and around the globe. And where there is light at Vivid, there is also music. Last year, the Vivid Music program expanded exponentially. In 2015, there's an even bigger program with more artists, venues, and a scene that is right at the edge of extraordinary, and certainly an only at Vivid Sydney experience. In fact, Vivid Music has grown so much, it's gained its own curator. And to tell us more, please welcome musician, Uber DJ, radio presenter, and all-round music nut, Stephen Ferris.
In 2014, Vivid Music pulsed through the city with Vivid Live at the Sydney Opera House and an array of performances at new venues like Carriage Works, The Basement, the Argyle and Seymour Centre. Vivid Music is expanding once again in 2015 with new venues and expanded musical styles to reach a wider audience. The Oxford Art Factory will present a Vivid program showcasing new and emerging artists from brand new Sydney label Personal Best Records, offering a light sense of humour that runs through their entire program. Good God Small Club will be another great new addition to Vivid Music in 2015. You can expect Jamaican dancehall, hip-hop and boogie nights. One of the city's most intimate venues, Frida's, has put together an excitingly diverse lineup, including a Yellow Magic Orchestra tribute band, Andrus Fox performing as his new age alter ego, ART Wilson, local disco supergroup, the Cut Silk Dance Band, as well as nights by Jingle Jangle, Yevu, Plastic Wall Records and more. ARIA Hall of Famers, the Hoodoo Gurus, led by Australian musical legend Dave Faulkner, will perform an exclusive Sydney-only show at the Powerhouse Museum. This unique show will see the Gurus involved in front of your eyes, from their 1980s beginnings to now, with every member of the Gurus throughout the band's history joining the show. Backed by Hoodoo Gurus memorabilia. Fans of soul, funk and disco in a vibrant space will find plenty to enjoy in Soul of Sydney, a local collective of DJs, dancers and artists, and nothing short of a Sydney phenomena come together for the Vivid edition of their renowned Sunday afternoon block parties. The best cutting-edge gay performance artists will transform the Factory Theatre in Marrickville during Heaps Gay, an immersive day-night inclusive festival of music, art and performance. Get lost in your own silent disco every Friday and Saturday at the Living Mall in Vivid's new precinct, Central Park. Following on the success from last year's Vivid Music program, Seymour Centre, Barrio Cellar, the Argyle and the Basement are all back on board with intriguing programs that are sure to impress. Carriage Works and Modular are joining forces once again to present an exclusive program of musical performances, art, installations and contemporary ideas as part of Vivid Sydney. Artists confirmed for 2015 include Grammy Award-winning American jazz saxophonist Pharoah Sanders, Bill Drummond, co-founder of the late 80s pop group The KLF, Club Kooky and Pelvis featuring Trevor Jackson. With a new vibe, a diversified program and more venues than ever before, Vivid Music 2015 will be offering something for all music lovers.
Thank you, Stephen. And speaking of only at Vivid Sydney experiences, Vivid Live here at the Opera House is featuring 10 Australian exclusives from international and Australian artists. To tell us more, here is its new curator, Ben Marshall.
I'm honoured to be this year's Vivid Live curator, and I hope that this collection of artists resonates with Sydney. They're all quite distinctive, personal, sometimes solitary individual voices, and I hope with this lineup to contribute to making Sydney a more vital place for music lovers. Vivid Live for 2015 features some new and exciting initiatives. We, for the first time, have pulled the artist lighting the sails inside the house to do internal projections. We're going to be working with Vivid Ideas on a series of talks. This year's Vivid Live features music and art for kids. We've got a large-scale outdoor event, and we have 10 nights of Australian exclusive performances in the concert hall. Morrissey is one of the most singular and unique voices in modern music. His work is a portal into an entire way of seeing the world and a through line into art, music and literature. Sufjan Stevens is one of the most distinctive contemporary voices in modern music. I think he's just stepping up to claim his place in the modern canon. To have him unveiling his new album will be a high point for Sydney music lovers. Daniel Johns is one of the giants of Australian modern music, and after an 8-year wait, we finally get to hear his new individual work and a very personal take on the Daniel Johns sound. Future Classic are an incredibly successful Sydney label whose sounds have resonated right around the world. This party features Flume doing his only Australian performance for 2015 and a first-of-its-kind outdoor party. TV on the Radio are one of the most vital and compelling bands in modern rock and roll. Their incredibly inventive, restless New York sound will be colossal on the concert hall stage. Universal Everything are a fantastic art and design agency. Their mission is to play with technology to invent new ways of interacting with design, and we're thrilled that they've agreed to light the sails.
When you asked me for some more, I was energized. Couldn't see your eyes, they were up inside. When you asked if I could see, I was pulverized. Sat in overdrive, system recognized. When you asked me for some more, I was energized. Couldn't see your eyes, they were up inside.
Vivid Live is a completely unique experience. It's the one time of year that the Opera House is taken over by a singular art form. It's been an honour to pull together a lineup that means something to me, and we'd like to thank our partners Destination New South Wales for helping us make Sydney a more interesting and vibrant cultural space.
Thank you, Ben. Of course, Vivid Ideas is another one of the elements of Vivid Sydney that has grown exponentially over the last 7 years. In 2014, around 35,000 people attended Vivid Ideas, with more than 550 speakers at more than 180 creative industry events. The person responsible for that growth, Vivid Ideas curator Jess Scully, is here to tell us about an even more exciting lineup in 2015.
Vivid Ideas is an annual celebration of innovation, creativity and community as part of Vivid Sydney. In 2014, Vivid Ideas continued to build engagement between the creative industries and the broader economy. Vivid Ideas is all about turning inspiration into action, and our program is expanding across the city with events at over 30 venues. And this year, Vivid Ideas introduces an exciting new talk series, The Game Changers, bringing global icons and leaders to Sydney for exclusive events to discuss their incredible careers and their approaches to creative practice. Multi-Emmy-winning writer Matthew Reiner is the series creator and executive producer of Mad Men and the former executive producer and writer on The Sopranos. Fresh from concluding Mad Men's final season, Matthew will share insights into how he creates iconic characters and tells unforgettable stories through his experience on two of the most recognised television series of all time. One of the most influential global figures in publishing and branding, Tyler Brulee is the founder of Wallpaper and Monocle magazines. He's also the founder and CEO of Wink Creative, the creative agency that airlines, fashion icons and countries turn to for branding advice. At Vivid Ideas, he will share his views on the changing media landscape and how he built a new media empire in this digital age. One of the world's most iconic designers, Stefan Sagmeister, has clients as diverse as the Rolling Stones, HBO and the Guggenheim Museum. His book, Things I Have Learned in My Life So Far, is an inspiring masterpiece of design. Creative conferences and public events will activate venues across the city, spanning the creative sector. Streets Ahead presents the most innovative streetwear artists, brands and designers on the planet and will be held at one of Vivid Sydney's most exciting new precincts, Central Park. The Sunrise poses the question, how are great technology companies built? This one-day conference will examine the key factors needed to create a Silicon Valley right here in the Southern Hemisphere. For the first time in 2015, a major interactive gaming event comes to Vivid Sydney, Game On. Game On will dive into the converging worlds of games culture, esports and online video content, bringing together players and developers over 3 days at Australian Technology Park. It's going to be huge, hands-on and a lot of fun. Speaking of hands-on, Craft Party is Etsy's annual worldwide celebration of meeting and making. Join the Etsy community in a free one-day crafting spectacular with activities to suit any age or skill. Vivid Ideas 2015 will also include respected creative industry events such as Remix Sydney, Semi-Permanent, Mumbrella 360, Sydney Film Festival, Spark International Light Event and the Museums Australia National Conference. There's also the return of the Vivid Ideas Exchange at the Museum of Contemporary Art, showcasing global talent including Flipper CEO Rish Mitra, Hyundai designer Casey Hyun, and insight leaders from MTV, Nickelodeon and beyond. There's all this and so much more. So whether you're a lover or a creator of creative content, there's something for you at Vivid Ideas. Keep checking the website vividsydney.com/ideas.
Thanks, Jess. It's a huge and really exciting program. Well, folks, this morning you've seen glimpses of what Vivid Sydney has in store. At its heart, Vivid Sydney is a family-friendly event that brings art, innovation and creativity to everyone by reaching out to them and gently bringing them in to the light. Of course, no event can just be about the creative elements. If it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a whole city to make Vivid Sydney happen. This year's preparation for and delivery of the event is no exception. And so, once again, we're going to focus on delivering the best event experience possible, including a greater focus on accessibility and sustainability. More details to be unveiled later. I'd like to thank the New South Wales Government and Destination New South Wales for the tremendous support, encouragement and artistic freedom and the commercial success that they have driven to ensure this extraordinary event prospers evermore from year to year. As we like to say here at Vivid Sydney, may the gentle light of creativity shine upon you all. Thank you.
Well, yes, indeed, and thank you, Ignatius. Well, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, in this International Year of Light, Vivid Sydney in 2015 will definitely meet the challenge to be bigger, brighter and even better. To those of you in the creative industries who have joined in this celebration of innovation and creativity every year, thank you for your commitment and thank you for your participation. To those of you watching at home, thank you for joining us. And in closing, we look forward to seeing all of you back here in Sydney on the 22nd of May at 6 p.m. for Lights On. That concludes today's formal proceedings. All of the curators are available for one-on-one interviews. We also have representatives from our Vivid Music, Vivid Light and Vivid Ideas programs here available. So just look for the helpers. Everybody put your hand up if you're a helper. Just look for one of the team and we'll make sure that you can get together. So please, again, thank you for coming today. Please stay, enjoy the refreshments and we'll see you all at Vivid Sydney. Thank you.